Renato was 73 years old, and for a long time his days seemed to never end. Every morning he got up before dawn, not because he had to, but because his body had become accustomed to that old habit, built up over years of working in the fields. But now there was no longer any duty waiting for him, no garden to water, no breakfast to prepare for two. He had lived alone since his wife, Rosa, had passed away 3 years earlier, taking with her the last spark of joy that still lived in that house. The first months after her death had been very hard, walking through the rooms and no longer hearing her voice, eating in silence with the chair in front of him empty, waking up in the middle of the night looking with his hand for someone who was no longer there. Their house, nestled in the countryside, was once filled with laughter, scents, and sounds. Now a dense, almost heavy silence reigned. Every object told a story, every corner held a memory. Renato often stopped in front of the old cupboard where his wife kept her Sunday mugs, or caressed the edge of the wooden table marked by the years, by shared meals and whispered stories. Time seemed to have stopped. He spent his days sitting in a chair by the window, watching the wind move the branches of the trees and remembering the days when that same house was full of life. His wife sang while she cooked, and his son Davide ran in the yard with dirty pants and grazed knees. Now that house was just a shell full of memories. Every now and then, Davide would call him on the phone. Short conversations, always the same sentences. "How are you, Dad?" "Everything's fine here." "You have to come to the city. You can't be alone like this." Renato would smile, but then hang up and return to his silence. Until that day. It was a Sunday afternoon. The wind was blowing hard and the television was crackling on a channel that no one was really watching. The phone rang. Renato answered with his usual calm voice. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. "Dad, that's enough. You can't go on like this. I'm coming to get you. Come stay with us. It'll be better for everyone." This time, David's voice was different. It was determined. Renato was silent for a few seconds. Then he just said, "Okay, my son." He packed only the bare essentials: 3 shirts, 2 pants, an old sweater his wife had given him, and the framed photo of their wedding. Before leaving, he turned toward the house and whispered, "I'll be back soon, maybe." When he arrived in the city, he was welcomed with affection. Davide had prepared a room just for him: a soft bed, light curtains, a small wardrobe. "You'll be better here," he told him. And for the first few weeks, it really was like that. The days passed peacefully. The house was tidy, the table always set. Irene, Davide's wife, seemed kind, but something in her gaze was never truly welcoming. Renato tried not to notice. Then the little comments began. "Dad, you left crumbs on the table. You dirtied the sink. I have to start all over again every time." Renato tried to be careful. He cleaned where he could, walked slowly, ate in silence. But his hands were shaking, his vision was blurry, and every gesture seemed to become a problem. One evening, while Irene raised her voice for the umpteenth time because she had left her glass out of place, Renato lowered his gaze and said nothing. That night, he couldn't sleep. He felt he had become a burden. In the morning, he got up early before Davide was awake. He put the few things back in his suitcase, left a note on the bedside table that said, "Thank you for having me. I'm going back to my house. I don't want to disturb your family again." He walked toward the station, his pace slow and his heart heavy. While he waited for the train, Sitting on a bench with shining eyes, he didn't notice that Davide had arrived behind him, running out of breath. "Dad, what are you doing here? Why did you leave like that?" Renato stood up with difficulty, looking at him with eyes full of apologies. "I don't want to ruin your peace, Davide. I'm just an old man. I can't do anything well anymore. Your wife is annoyed by my presence. I understand, and I thank you for trying." But David took his hands and kissed them. "Dad, you are not a bother. You are the reason why I am the man I am today. You raised me. You loved me. You gave me everything even when you had nothing, and I was wrong to leave you alone for too long." She hugged him tightly, and together they went home. Without even taking off his jacket, David asked Irene to sit at the table. In a calm and firm voice, he said to her, "You have to know something. When my mother died and my father didn't want to know anything about me, it was this man who picked me up off the street. He wasn't my father, but he chose to be. He worked day and night to give me an education, to give me a life. Without him, I would be nothing." Then he looked into her eyes. "If you can't treat him with respect, then this house is no longer for you." Irene stood up, took her things, and left. She didn't say a word. Maybe she knew, deep down, that Davide was right. Renato remained there still, his heart pounding. "I'm sorry, Davide. I didn't mean to destroy your family." His son held him tighter. "You didn't destroy anything. You just brought the truth to light." In the months that followed, Renato flourished. Every day was filled with little joys. A walk with Davide, a chat after dinner, the smell of coffee in the morning. And then, one day, Davide met Clara, a woman with a kind heart. Clara was different. She had a look that listened, hands that helped, words that healed. She treated Renato like a father. She sewed his shirts, took him shopping, and made him laugh. And so, in that house where he had been afraid to move and even to breathe, Renato truly came back to life. Every night, before going to sleep, he looked at the photograph on the nightstand and whispered, "We made it, my love. Our son is a wonderful man." And he prayed with a full heart, "May every elderly person find arms that do not judge, but that welcome, and may true love never be forgotten." Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.